కూడా అయిపోద్ది. ఇంట్లో అమ్మ చేసినట్టు ఉంది, చాలా బాగుంది.
Welcome to the journey of Vishwa Foundation, an organization dedicated to bringing positive change to society every single day. In just 1,176 days since its inception in May 2021, Vishwa Foundation has grown into a beacon of hope and change. Vishwa Talks is an online platform inspiring people to participate in social change by hosting experts who share insights on diverse topics every Saturday.
Namaste. Vishwa is an organization which works towards building the grassroots levels of India. The first step we take towards that is to build an awareness. We work in different causes from education, health, art and culture to 12 other causes. On every Saturday at 11 a.m., we have a talk on these various topics. For example, when it comes to health, India has a rich source of Ayurvedic treatments, alternative medicines like Ayurveda, homeopathy, Siddha, naturopathy. At a time when India is leading in diabetes, heart attacks, cancer, we have preventive medication which can be used. So a lot of talks have come out where people can use household items to prevent some of these or to control some of them. Our grandmothers were a rich source of information. Our parents knew a little lesser than that. And we know a lot lesser than that. And perhaps our children may never get that heritage. Here at Vishwa, we have people who tell us how to use the household items like curry leaves or neem or lemongrass for what ailments, etc. Similarly, we have talks on art and culture. We would like to have our Indians to be united, be one, be proud of their culture, their heritage. We have a lot of talks where people from various walks of life have come forward and spoken about various buildings, various dance forms, etc. These are two examples I have given. We cover 12 causes like this in our Vishwa Talks. As a first step, we want to bring in awareness among the coming generation. Our audience is across the country and sometimes abroad too. We have a rich interactive session after the talk is given by the expert. It's for any person who watches these talks to decide, believe in what they don't want to believe in, and if they have any clarifications, they're free to ask questions. After this, we want to build the skills of the people of India. Today, India is on the cusp of moving into one of the top countries of the world. But unfortunately, the skills of our people do not match our aspirations. Here at Vishwa, we started out in a small way. We started with computer training. Fortunately for us, Rotary and some people have donated computers to us. We teach 10th class students, inter students and degree students so that when they go for jobs, they don't get rejected. We teach the basics like Excel, Doc, ChatGPT, how to market. We teach because most of them cannot afford computers and they have no access to them. And similarly, we have something called celebrations. Celebrations is celebrating your loved ones on their anniversaries, on their birthdays, on their death anniversaries. You could contribute to any of the causes that Vishwa showcases on its platform, vishwa.org. You could, Annadanam for instance. There are a lot of people across the country who, when they go to hospitals, they come up from far-off regions and the little money they have, they keep it aside for the treatment of the patient. They sleep on platforms, they hardly eat anything. And we give them food every afternoon on Fridays and it makes a lot of difference. There are similar such fundraisers. Please feel free to celebrate your loved ones with any of these causes.
Vishwa's commitment towards zero waste and the long way to go in achieving the goal begins with our material donation drive. Conducted twice a year during Diwali and Ugadi in Hyderabad, this drive collects clothes, books, toys and other used or semi-used items for the underprivileged. Contributions from over 615 plus families have benefited around 2,800 individuals, providing essential items and support, bringing hope and dignity to them. Through these efforts, others, promoting sustainability and community welfare.
Namaskaram. A very good morning and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Trishant and I thank you all for attending today's event on Zoom and to those watching on YouTube Live. For those of you who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for our new joinees, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is here to create awareness amongst people and to protect our social heritage and to let people make their own decisions. Here we invite experts to discuss and explore diverse opinions, different perspectives, various issues, problems, and their solutions on various fields, including art and culture, healthcare, environment and ecology, education, and many more. So far, we have covered over 150 talks. Each webinar is an interactive session with a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you miss any part of the session or would like to go through the previous sessions, please visit our website or Vishwa Talks YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks on various interesting topics. It is my privilege to introduce today's speaker, an inspiring leader and expert in the field of solid waste management and sustainability, Mr. Firdosh Ruwala. With over 13 years of experience in urban waste management, Mr. Ruwala has played a pivotal role in designing and implementing sustainable solutions across gated communities, municipal corporations, and NGOs. As the founder of the Green Thumb, his commitment to waste recycling, capacity building, and environmental sustainability has transformed waste management practices in urban India. His innovative approach has successfully convinced over 80 housing societies to adopt wet waste recycling, and he has conducted 55 plus training programs to educate students, professionals on the importance of responsible waste disposal. Currently pursuing a PhD in solid waste management at Symbiosis International University, his research focuses on creating a sustainable framework for managing municipal solid waste in gated communities. Additionally, he is expanding his expertise through a PG certification in sustainability engineering and smart cities from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Beyond his professional achievements, Mr. Ruwala actively contributes to CSR initiatives, citizen groups, and rural waste management projects, making a real difference in the communities. With his vast experience, innovative solutions, and unwavering dedication to sustainability, we are honored to have him with us today. As we dive into today's interesting discussion, I would like to inform the audience that our speaker will be taking questions from you after our main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use the raised hand tool in the reaction section, and we will allow you to ask your question in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for interactive part of the webinar. And I also request you to keep the questions concise and short and non-repetitive. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Firdosh Ruwala as he shares his inspiring journey and valuable insights into understanding our waste, rethinking urban waste management systems. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you everyone for joining in. Wonderful audience. I'm seeing a quite variety of audience coming into this group. So I'll begin, just share my screen and begin my talk. I hope the screen is visible. So to begin with, this is the current circularity that we are all following today. We talk a lot about what circularity is all about and how to recycle and how to reuse. But unfortunately, these are the realities of our times today. So today's topic, what I'm going to talk about is, it's about waste, It is about rethinking what we are doing with our waste. A lot of this subject, what I'm going to talk about, is through my experience that I've learned in these 13, 14 years of working in this field. A lot of this is also about the research that I've done on this field. And that is what I'm trying to put forth to this audience today, to kind of go back home, or, go back with a new frame or a new thought process in your minds, that why waste is a problem today. We are all here, we are all committed, we all know the solutions, but somehow, somewhere the link is not forming, somehow the bridge is not getting connected. So this is just an introduction about me. I manage societies, their waste. I also conduct a lot of consultancy and educational programs. I've also got a patent for capacity planning for waste management in societies, and also working on a new method of converting wet waste into biomass briquettes. So first and foremost, with this audience, I would like to, redefine the old concept of waste. See, waste earlier was that anything today, or let's say today, the definition of waste is whatever I do not want, I will throw it out. So there is some agency which comes to my house, and we put it in these two buckets called wet waste and dry waste, and it goes away. I don't know where it goes away. So anything I don't want in my house gets converted into something called as waste. So first, I would like to redefine what is waste to this audience. So waste in the first is a byproduct of a given system, which is generating after passing through a single or number of processes. That is the definition of waste. Or this waste in the current form may not be having any use to the current system, but it may be beneficial for some other person. So that was the old method of how, like, typically, if I give an example of industrial waste, there are vendors who line up outside a factory for the waste that the industry generates. It can be plastic, it can be metal scrap, it can be burr, it can be anything. They don't call it as waste. It is called as scrap, and the scrap has a value, and people understand this value. Unfortunately, we are gone into that spinning zone of this waste where we don't know what to do with it, and is just going round and round and round and round. And we are landed up in such a condition that I personally feel that the solution is, it is going to take a very humongous effort of a lot of people to get out of this mess. So my first question is, when I started my research, or when I started working in this field, I saw a very typical method that there is something called as a municipal corporation, and their vehicle comes and it picks up whatever you have left at your doorstep or whatever you left at your gate. And I found this to be a very odd system, frankly, that why is the government offering such a service to us? If the government really wants to offer, or let's say they are offering this services because it comes under the category of, sanitation, that, let us keep the city clean, then the corporation also maybe should come and, wash our clothes, wash our vessels, or also clean our bathrooms, because that is also part of sanitation. But this government has got stuck, typically a municipal corporation or the local urban body has got stuck into this system of where they have to send people, they have to send these vehicles and multiple types of vehicles, and enforce people of this wet waste and dry waste and segregation. And they themselves have got stuck in this loop since many, many years. So how did this system start, where the government said, that look, from tomorrow, I am going to start picking up this waste that you generate. So it's my theory that it started somewhere in the industrial revolutions in the 18th centuries, where there was a huge influx of people from smaller towns to a larger city. This caused problems of water pollution, air pollution. People started staying near river bodies. They started generating waste. So due to that, it is a known fact that in the early 18th century, England was plagued by bubonic plague, cholera, typhoid, which was very common that time. So that is where the government stepped in, that since we have an influx of a huge population coming in, and we want this population to come in because we got industries set up, we want workers, we want skilled people. So the government came in and stepped in and said that, look, we will take care of this. Let the industries work. This same thing continued later on in Europe and America also, where the second and third industrial revolutions came in. They also suffered from, they also suffered from the same problems of diseases coming up. And ultimately, this legacy was passed on by these European rulers to all the countries that they went to. That the government took up the onus of sanitation. That let us keep the cities clean. At that era, it was required because nobody knew what to do or how to do it. And it was a good thing that the government stepped in to look after the sanitation of its citizens. In India also, we had the same culture. I would say the economic reforms that happened in the year 1991, which ended the license Raj and allowed everybody to come in, set up their shops, set up manufacturing units, created a big burst in the market. And this market led to development, this market led to growth. When we were kids, from a 100-flat society, there used to be 2 cars, majority cycles or some Bajaj two-wheelers. Today, a 100-flat society has 2 cars per flat and 4-wheelers are unknown. Cycles are missing. So that this brought in a big economic reform, which is good. The country developed, people developed, industries came in. But with that, we forgot to clean our backends somewhere. And this led to this humongous, pile that we are sitting on today, called landfills and debris and ocean pollution and things like that. So, like I said, today's discussion is not about problems. We know the problems. We know water is polluted, air is polluted, and people are throwing in rivers and fishes are dying, and we've seen turtles getting affected by the plastic waste. So I will be discussing solutions that I think are viable. These solutions are based on my experience and research. And then it is on the audience on how we can discuss on it and we can take it forward ahead. So the typical flow chart, let's say, of a municipal corporation today is there is a waste generator and they send all their vehicles and men and there's a collection happening. And either it goes to a transfer center. Some municipal corporations try and, segregate it. But this red line that you're seeing, the waste generation, the collection, and ultimately disposal. This is what generally happens in all municipal corporations. If I take an example of city like Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Hyderabad, Bombay generates 10,000 tons of municipal solid waste per day. 10,000 tons, like 10,000 multiplied by, add 3 more zeros to that. So technically, it is impossible for one government body to collect, segregate, and imagine process in 24 hours time. And this is where the whole problem starts. That what Earlier, the government said, let us take sanitation in our hands, which was good. Times were good, people were good, population was less. Today, it is virtually impossible for any municipal corporation to access this waste. It is beyond their capacity. I don't blame them. It is not that they are technically not viable or they are not efficient people, things like that. But 10,000 tons per day, imagine Bombay is collecting. They are trying to process it, they are trying to segregate it, but it won't happen. So something new has to come in. Some changes have to happen. So the first change that happened, and it was a very good change that happened in India, is after independence, there was no law on waste. Every municipal corporation or every city, every town did whatever it wanted to do. Somebody came and said something, promises were made, but that changed. There was a lady who took it up on herself. Her name is Ms. Almitra Patel. There were rules laid down with the Supreme Court of India, and these rules were mandated to each and every city municipal corporation. Now, when a Supreme Court ruling comes in, nobody can mess with them. Government can make a rule, that's fine. But when a court makes a rule and it mandates certain steps to be done, everybody fell in place. So the good thing that happened was every municipal corporation, as per this rule, was mandated to stop dumping in landfills. And it was mandated that every municipal corporation has to generate a budget to start processing this waste. There is also a mandate which came in where segregation at source was compulsory. Every municipal commissioner had to give an annual report and comply with these rules. And when these reports are published, there was something called as the National Green Tribunal which came into the picture, and they became the monitoring authority. So many a times you may read in newspaper that National Green Tribunal has penalized a corporation for not following what it said. And commissioners are at their feet because of this. Now nobody can just come and say that, we are setting up a plant and that plant never comes in. If somebody says that we are setting up a plant, they have to give a plan, they have to give a budget, they have to give a timeline, and they have to do that and show it that yes, this plant has been set up. The second type which I am suggesting over here, this is a part of my own research which I feel is very important, is we have to redefine the waste that is being generated. So currently the definition of waste that we generate from our house is wet waste and dry waste, and medical waste and some other waste here and there. And we put these two buckets and the corporation comes and takes it away. For us to solve the problem, this is the first step that we need to do, is define where the corporation is picking up its waste from. Now it's helter-skelter. The vehicle follows a route map, and whichever societies or companies or hotels or street vendors come into the picture, they keep picking. Defining who is generating this municipal solid waste is the first step of the solution. So the first and the biggest you will see on the left-hand side top corner is the gated community. Gated community is where we all stay in. We are the most educated and financially sound lot of people in a city. And unfortunately, where I work with gated communities, we refuse to segregate or do anything with this waste. The second type is the ungated community. That can be the slums or people who stay on the road. Then the other definitions are manufacturing areas, hotels, street food, high density commercial places, public spaces like airports, railways, parks. Then there is medical waste from hospitals, nursing homes, large campuses of educational institutes. Then there is garden waste. Road sweeping is what the corporation does. And other smaller types of waste like cooking oil, tires, coconuts. The last category is orphaned waste. So orphaned waste is something which we, while traveling on a roadside, on a highway, we find this dumping to be happening. Piles, not very large piles, but small piles of waste which are just thrown on the side of the road. There are no parents, there is no identity to this waste, that who threw it and it belongs to whom. So I categorize that as orphaned waste. This becomes a burden on the corporation to sit cleaning this. When we have a system of collection, but people are still, I don't know, motivated, or they are excited, or what gives them this motivation to pack everything in one bag and swing it across the road when they are traveling in their car or two-wheelers. So this waste creates a category which is orphaned waste, and it also creates a very huge burden on the municipal corporation. Again, coming back, the old system was where the waste is generated, the waste is collected, and depending on the size of the city or the capacity of the municipal corporation, either they would segregate it and transport it, or ideally it would go to a landfill. The new type which can come into the picture actually is that a municipal corporation has to has to change its role from managing to a manager. It's like, imagine that you get recruited into a company as, let's say, a account head. After 6 months, you find out that the person who was handling the operations also left. So the company gives you the job of the operations manager. Then the HR fellow goes on leave for some time, and then accounts, operations, and HR also comes into the picture. So this is happening with the municipal corporation today, that they are handling everything and anything that is coming into the picture. The solution here is that private players, good recycling technology, manufacturing players, CSR funding. There are many local citizen groups who want to do and make a change. They should be allowed into the system. They should become a part of the system. So rather than the municipal corporation going to a gated community to collect its waste, and then they don't know what to do with it, let a private entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, go to that place and say, this is the service I offer, this is the money I may pay you for buying your dry waste, or this is the money that you may have to pay me for composting your wet waste. I can teach you how to do the composting. I will take the service of this composting. I have friends who deal in dry waste. Give them this dry waste. We will come and collect it from your house every day. So municipal corporation, rather than going with all their vehicles, brings in these type of players in the market who are certified, maybe by the local mohalla committees, maybe by CSR funding. It will reduce the burden of a municipal corporation completely. So each category of this waste generation that I showed in this chart can have a specialized collection system separately. You can generate so many new entrepreneurs in the system who specialize on each type of waste. Even in plastic, there are so many categories, and there is so much of recycling can be done. Metal has so many categories. Food waste composting is not so difficult for a trained entrepreneur to come in. And this sets a new kind of a reform on how we look at our waste. Advantage is that, as I said, multiple players will always bring in efficiency in the system. right now we suffer from efficiency. We may blame the municipal corporation that, they don't work and they're lazy and things like that. But they are not efficient. That's why they are like that. And it's become a part of their system. Again, like I said, municipal corporation is managing everything that is coming its way. They have to become managers. Like, again, giving an example, like if the local municipal corporation, let's say today wants to build a bridge. In earlier days, the government was building a bridge on its own. Then they realized that this is not our business. We are not technically sound in civil, mechanical, electrical, and things like that. So they have certified vendors. Depending on what kind of and the budget, the vendors are invited to submit their quotations. Paper ads are given. And the best vendor who comes in with the lowest price or the best quality, things like that, as per experience, is given the contract to make the bridge. But the municipal corporation engineers still supervise it. They may draw up the plans, they may draw up the length and size of the bridge, but they have realized that this is not our area of expertise. Let someone who's better do it. The same thing has to come into waste management. Waste management is not an expertise of a municipal corporation, but municipal corporation, the commissioners are excellent administrative people. They can manage people very well. So let this expertise come into the people in the commissioner's office, that they are managing vendors. If they can manage vendors for sewage work, for bridges, for roads, for water pipelines, why can't they manage vendors even for waste collection and waste recycling? Each area in a city can have vendors. It is an option of the public to choose which vendor they would like to take. Burden on collecting waste from each and every household per day suddenly vanishes. Like the earlier example that I gave of Mumbai, their budget for solid waste management is over 2,500 crores. And what do they do in that? Go to your house, collect, try to do something, but goes to Devna. They can't do. The same 2,500 crores, I would say, is a sitting industry for so many entrepreneurs in our country. Small entrepreneurs who can recycle, who can segregate, who can do many good things with such a large quantity of waste that is generated in a city. In the end, recycling should become a business. Right now, recycling is like a social activity. We are helping people and we are consulting people, and a little bit of some recycling happens there and we all clap and we are all happy. But till the money does not flow into this, good efficient players or bigger players will not be attracted to it. And money has to be coming into the system for efficient people to jump into this business of recycling municipal solid. One more good thing that happened in our country is called as the Swachh Survey. So I don't know how many people are aware of this. Every city, every metro city, every Gram Panchayat, every cantonment board is ranked every year by the central government on its cleanliness aspects. So the cleanliness aspects are how clean is your road, how clean is all your common public areas, is there open defecation in your city, how clean is your water body, how clean is the open land available. And then comes with the waste, do people segregate, is there citizen participation going on, things like that. Is the municipal corporation recycling the waste? How many private players are there in your city who are helping you recycle this waste? So this survey is like a cat among the pigeons. In Pune, where I stay, I have seen sanitation inspectors sweeping the roads when just before the survey team is coming, because they are so scared. The fear is because such survey has become a prestige issue now, and which is a good thing. Prestige issue, why? Is the commissioner of that city, if he has got ranked, well last year, it is forced on him that this year also I have to get this ranking or I have to go beyond it. Not beyond it, before it, sorry. And the same thing comes with the pressure of the politicians also involved in this. That the mayor of the city or the MLA of the city or the MP of the city would also like his or her city to be ranked well in this Swachh survey. So like classic example of Indore and Surat being ranked 1 and 2, they are just twins in this Swachh survey that happens. Plus there are many, like Pune has come 9th, Hyderabad is somewhere 10th. And there are many villages who are in the top 50 in Swachh survey. Cities like Chennai or Calcutta, Kolkata do not come in this Swachh survey ranking at all. And so it also becomes a pressure on these cities to do something. And that is why I say Swachh survey is cat among the pigeons, that now everybody started competing. That, let us keep the city clean. Let us do this. Let us do that. One more solution we can talk about, like I will be giving the example of Pune city. Like Pune city is the only city which offers a 5% property tax rebate on your property tax bill if you are doing composting in-house. It offers 5% property tax rebate if you have a solar power system set up in your society. It offers a 5% property tax rebate if you have a rainwater harvesting system. This is a wonderful incentive that the municipal corporation has brought into the system, where people are encouraged that do this and we will give you this rebate. And trust me, there are many people who are vying for this. Many societies are benefiting of this 5% rebate since many years. And the advantage of this rebate is that capital expenses that societies put in to invest in a composting plant, over a period of 5 to 6 years, this 5% rebate helps to offset that off. Second example is a Swachh Seva cooperative, where below poverty line women are taken into the system by the Pune Municipal Corporation for segregation. So today Pune, the segregation levels of Pune might be much better than many cities, is because nearly 4,000 to 5,000 women every day are entrusted with the task of collecting waste door to door, segregating it. And the advantage of segregating for these women is not only does the corporation pay them an amount, the segregated material is sold by them. Many ladies I know who are staying in slums with many family background problems manage to earn 10 to 15,000 rupees additionally by this. And it's a very good way of bringing the informal sector of these waste rag pickers, what we call them ideally, into the system. Pune Municipal Corporation also has set up 18 biogas plants. We had a 750-ton composting plant. We had a 750-ton waste-to-energy plant. Now it's not there, unfortunately. The sixth point is that Serum Institute, if you all have heard of the person who made the COVID vaccine for us, Adar Poonawalla, they have initiated a trust where they are helping the municipal corporation for picking up waste or segregating waste where the municipal corporation finds it difficult. So they have their team of workers, they have their team of trucks and many compactors who go and are helping this. There's a special company in Pune called PASCO for medical waste. The PA corporation does not lift medical waste. This company is authorized to go to every hospital, nursing home, doctor to pick up this. Pune has a lot of active mohalla committees, active citizen groups. I work with a company called Yardi Software, which works in slums for keeping their toilets clean. And we are also setting up composting plants in a slum. That is the ungated community. In Kalyani Nagar, where I stay, we have got something called as a Resource Recycling Center. This is the initiative where we are encouraging people to come and give their dry waste every Saturday to us. And we get wonderful things from them. For example, like people who may have a vacuum cleaner and they bought a new one, they don't know what to do with the old one, which is still working. So when it comes to us, rather than it going as e-waste, we put it back into the system where somebody may want a vacuum cleaner for some other purpose. And in Pune, we have got a company called KK Nag Foundation, which is working again with the municipal corporation under the extended producer responsibility for recycling the worst material, thermocol. They manufacture thermocol. They have developed a system where they can recycle thermocol. Now, these examples why I gave to all of you all is the best practices sharing does not happen in our industry, unfortunately. Many of you sitting in this audience today would not know many of these things. And likewise, I sitting in Pune, I don't know many good initiatives that are happening in many other cities. So one solution from this whole problem is we have to start sharing best practices on a given platform, that this is what we do, this is the way we do it. If you like us and if you want to learn how we do it, please contact us here. That is not happening in our country or in our community. Coming to the last part of my presentation is what individually or as a group a person can do or a group can do. I don't suggest that people start composting and people start recycling, because I know it's very difficult. People don't like composting in their house, or people may not want to participate in such projects. But I advise people on certain basic consumer behaviors. Our consumer behavior is a problem, and that is why waste is a problem. The first point is our shopping has become so rampant and it has become so easy. Sitting in the house, we are now ordering. We don't even go out of the house anymore. Think twice before you buy. Do you actually need it? Can you still hold on without buying a new shirt or a new shoes or new things or things like that? And likewise, think twice before you throw something out. That do you actually need to throw this? Can you recycle it? Can you repair it? The timeline between the buy and the throw is very short, unfortunately. And many of us fall prey to the greenwashing that is again very common all over the country. It's all over the world actually. Any labeling that you see on any product that you buy is either environmental friendly, meets this standard, meets that standard. Think twice before what you're buying. Segregating your waste is a suggestion, a humble suggestion I can give to everybody, because there is a whole underground industry, an informal sector in India, which earns good amount of money when we segregate. Plastic sells, metal sells, textile sells, shoes sell, everything sells. These people know how to sell it. Only thing is we need to segregate our waste. If our waste is mixed with food waste and then some milk pouch and the onions and potatoes and things like that, the value of that dry waste goes down. Nobody wants to touch it. If we give clean dry waste to certain vendors who can benefit, it sets a whole industry of recycling. These are collective pictures which I would like to, show. These are commonly found in all my societies where I am doing wet waste composting. Photographs are of food waste, which are good. not expired, which could have been used maybe by, if I didn't want it, I gave it to somebody else and not throw it out. Vegetable waste, food waste. I would urge people in this audience to stop throwing food outside as wet waste. Our children are very commonly, told that nahi acha lagta hai, to it's okay, throw it away. I get packed fancy vegetables, that broccoli and that purple capsicum, orange capsicum and yellow capsicum, still in the plastic wrapping. Somebody bought it, didn't know what to do with it, threw it off. What you can do, very simple things, you don't need to move, you don't need to do many changes, is understanding what you're buying, understanding what you're throwing. Simple segregation you can start in your house. It does not take too much of an effort to start segregating. And inculcating a rule in your house that we do not waste food. 25% of the wet waste that I get in my societies is waste food. Bread, butter, papaya, watermelon, mangoes, oranges, tomato, onion, you name it. And I can vouch that it is good because I cut it and see it, whether it was decayed inside. Or I take that packet and see the expiry date. Even if it was expired, I would still blame them that they waited for that product to get expired. So these simple rules individually, if we follow, it can change. The larger perspective that I spoke about today about laws, legislations, bringing in private players into the system, allowing new players to come into the system for collection, segregation, and recycling. Sharing best practices is something which we are not doing. Supporting the Swachh Bharat survey is maybe can start the change in the whole system. This is our condition today. We are consuming more than we want, and that is why this waste is coming out. 100 years back, there was no waste. Or even in our ancient scriptures, or wherever you read about old history, there was nothing called as waste that time. It's just this modern concept. After AI, the next concept is waste. What do you do? There's a solution for AI, but there's no solution for waste, unfortunately. So this bridge has to be kept. There are people ready to offer solutions. Technology is available. It can be imported. It can be in-made. Many entrepreneurs in India are working on waste. Municipal corporations are ready to do something on waste. Politicians are ready to do something on waste. But somehow this gap is not bridging up. Citizens are also participating. So maybe it's a time, to form a common society of maybe like a waste recycling or a waste resource society of India, where people start sharing their best practices. Senior bureaucrats can come into this society to take advantage of these learnings. Entrepreneurs can register in this society to offer their service to anybody in India. A common platform has to be created for everyone to come in and learn, experience, and take away what they can for their local areas. This does not happen currently. Even like a city like Indore, many politicians or bureaucrats visit it, but there's no official document by the government that why Indore is number one. There is something good they did, but nobody is able to read or understand and do a study or a research on it, that why Indore ranks number one consistently and why others are lacking. So I end my presentation today. We can discuss this further on also later on after this talk. and I'm happy to take questions from the audience.
Thank you so
Thank
much, sir. Uh, I'd like to, before we move on to the Q&A, I'd like to take 30 seconds of your time for a quick poll. This will help us get to know you better and tailor future topics that we bring to you. And a big thanks to everyone here today. Your presence and participation means a lot to us and have made this webinar a huge success. While you fill out the poll, I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our speaker for today, Mr. Firdaus Ruwala. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your time and insights with us. I will now invite founder of Vishwas, Shravani Mullapudi, to initiate the Q&A session and take it forward.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Firdaus Ruwala ji, you're doing, in addition to being an entrepreneur, the kind of service you're doing is, thank you so much for it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for the opportunity.
Each of us has our own profession. Each of us are working towards making ends meet. Each of us are working towards taking care of our families. But you are a fine example of not only doing our duty towards our family, but your value system is helping you to contribute to Mother Earth.
Yes.
To society. We acknowledge you for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you to all the participants who are here. When Vishwa Talks first started environmental talks, the first talk had 14 people. So our team used to say, let's not have environmental talks. And I said, no, we will have environmental talks. We will have every month an environmental talk. And today there were more than 200 people participating in this talk. Thank you to each of you. Thank you to the Vishwa team. Impeccably planned, impeccably managed. I hardly am involved in it nowadays, and yet Trishant, Rakesh, and the entire marketing team, you are doing a fabulous job. Thank you so much. I'll ask Vasant Mysore Matri, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Firdaus ji.
Yes, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Excellent presentation. And doing
Thank
a
you, sir.
great job.
Thank you, sir.
Environmentally, it is really wonderful. I was
Thank you,
also a member of NARM Committee on Solid Waste Management in Mysore. And I
Ji.
have a few recommendations. You have covered most of the things, no doubt about it. But the best practices that can be done, I have recommended. I hope you will adjust. See, best thing is, wet waste is converted into manure in most
Yes.
of. So what they are doing is they are selling it. And what I have suggested is Power Karmikas may be made to take a few packets of these things when they go. Excuse me.
Yes.
When they go for a street collection, they can take these packets and distribute it to the households.
Yes.
That at a cost. That can be a economical good thing. Second thing
Yes.
is plastic waste. Plastic waste, here we will have to inculcate the good habits for students. And my suggestion is every day, every student must bring 10 pieces of plastic and give it to the school. And in turn, they can take it and give it to the concerned authorities, who in turn can convert it into a road-making plastic-coated bitumen. Hope is it okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
sir. And the next thing is hand over the plastic to corporation. After that, they will convert it into roads. This was done in Millers Road in Bangalore, and it lasted
many
for quite a long time. Khan and Khan company, they had converted it. This can be easily made. The waste, that plastic that has been recovered from market after raids and all, they are under different kinds of what you call court cases. Now, the
Yes.
next thing is toxic cigarette filters. Billions of them are lying around. And
Yes.
people, particularly smokers, and since I am an anti-tobacco campaigner, I'm worried about the billions of cigarette bits that
Yes.
has cellulose acetate, that is non-biodegradable, and it is actually polluting the groundwater and in
Yes.
seas and all. And seawater is being millions of cigarette packet BDs and other things. They
Yes.
flow with the drain water and join the water bodies, and they are actually choking the water levels. These are some of the things which I think you can further concentrate and take it as a recommendation to all others. Another thing that my request to audience is be the change you want to see.
Correct. Exactly.
The concept under which I worked was why your dirt in front of my house. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ we say ನಿನ್ನ ಹೊಲಸು ನನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಏಕೆ. So that kind of a thing. What we want is my suru, my my suru means chat. When that shows that chat must be very clean. When you want your house to be clean, why do you want your street to be dirty? Stop throwing everything, stop spitting, start dirtying, start throwing things at that. Help authorities concerned to do service to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vishwa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
Shivani. You are doing great jobs with covering most of the good things, community based and good. Keep it up, please. Thank you.
Thank you for your initiative also, sir.
Thank you.
Babulal Shiradhanaji.
Sorry,
Yes,
my
Babulal.
video is not great. I'll just
No
turn off.
problem. No problem.
Firdaus sir is my classmate as well in IASC.
Yes.
So
Good morning.
we have a particular problem in Bangalore
Yes.
where in the households we segregate waste. But what is happening is the auto tipper people who collect the
Excellent.
waste, they do not want to this waste to be segregated. And what we found out is why they are doing this is because the waste that comes along, wet waste and dry waste that they're getting, the plastic, high valuable plastic that they're getting, they are generating some revenue out of it. And as soon as we are segregating these two waste, mostly we give the dry waste to some other kabadi wala and get some revenue, right? So this is a revenue loss to the person who is coming and collecting the wet waste.
Correct.
So at ground level, we have different challenges where this, whatever we are talking about, is very difficult to implement. So any thoughts on this mindset
That is
of
why,
these people?
no, that is why I was suggesting the system has to change. The municipal corporation, this collection, what they are doing is the elephant in the room, actually. They have to step out of the system, let people come into the system. You yourself are an entrepreneur on plastic waste recycling. If you are given the opportunity to collect waste from 1,000 houses every day, it's an amazing business you can set up. You can force people to segregate. You can pay people for the waste that you are collecting from them. People will be happy to earn money from you. It is a wonderful model which can be implemented, that dry waste, if given nicely, metal, glass, plastic, earns money for the person who is generating it and earns money for the person who is recycling it also. So that is why what I was suggesting in the slides is people have to come into the system. The government or the municipal corporation has to allow new entries into the system. This old system is not working. There are many complaints that we segregate and it goes back again into the van altogether. So what is the idea of segregating? But this is just going in round and round loops. It has to end somewhere, and the end is that let the government sit aside, let them appoint vendors, and let these vendors start working now. That's the right solution to go about this managing the problem.
What happens when there is a monopoly? What happens
No,
when
there can never be monopoly. Like an example I gave that, Today, the government wants to construct a bridge. The amount of vendors who are ready to construct this bridge, right from L&T, Hyundai, BHEL, to the local construction, big type construction in Bangalore, let's say. Everybody goes in for that tender. So there's a tendering process. The corporation already has this system. Tendering, vendors, registered vendors, certified vendors. And it brings in competition. When it brings in competition, competition brings in efficiency. So it is not, I'm saying that wet waste, give it to only one person. Let there be 10 registered vendors from the municipal corporation. Let the person who's generating this waste decide that I would like to go with this vendor because he offered me good rates. And over a period of time, definitely this problem, what you have, that somebody may get into a monopoly situation. Over a period of time, it changes. The right people come in, good, efficient people start working nicely, and the customer or the people accept the system.
I'll go into it's coming on to 12 o'clock. So I will to let you know about the upcoming talks. After that, we will continue with the Q&A session. The upcoming talks are from Harsh Kotari. This is on 22nd February 2025, 11 a.m. He's the founder and project head of Har Hat Kalam, serving with dignity beyond classrooms, creating safe spaces for children on streets to learn and thrive. I would also like to thank once again to each of you. And with this, I'd like to close the session and we can move on with our Q&As. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For all the participants. And for those of you who would like to continue with the Q&A, please stay on. Mr. Shmail, would you like to ask your question? Please come online.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. A very interesting presentation. And I want to ask you next and very actual, according to my opinion, question. How, according to your opinion, the solution problems of waste can support resolution problems of poverty and improvement social and economic well-being of poor and low socioeconomic groups of population.
They are the people who are helping us anyways today. Any rag picker you see, any person who's into recycling, the lower category of people are the people who are earning money from this. It's a good source of income. Waste is freely available everywhere, fortunately, in any city worldwide, not only in India. So if we get them into the system, Pune already, where I stay in Maharashtra in India, already has the system in place where around 4,000 below poverty line women are given this task of collecting and segregating. They are paid by the people and they earn money by selling this dry waste also. So from being just a housewife in some slum and, not doing anything and depending on a husband, now these women have become independent now. And they are earning good amount of money. They can educate their children. They are buying insurance policies. The government is in a way supporting with them with medical policies, group insurance. So it's a good system which has got set up. It may not eradicate poverty or it may not, change the whole way of how poor people live. But it's an opportunity for a good segment of the citizens to come in and do something good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Manav Shah, will you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Recently, 2 months ago, I and my friend also thought, we started some kind of an NGO, kind of a community to have some activities. One of the thing was cleanliness drive. We used to collect the waste. Now the thing is, we also discuss about doing awareness campaigns, and I had different thought on this, was that there is no point of awareness. So whatever I'm saying after that, I want to view on that. So
Okay.
my thought was that there is no point of awareness. People generally know what is good, what is bad.
Everything.
People
Exactly.
generally sleep and sit in a place which is clean, so they understand what cleanliness is, and they know where they should throw the waste. And still they do that intentionally, consciously.
Yes.
So there was no point of awareness. That was my perspective.
Correct.
What are your views on the awareness segment in whole this ecosystem of waste management?
See, time of awareness, personally, I also feel is gone. Every school children, like my children, 10 years, 13 years, because their father works in waste, so they are aware. But every school children who is in 6th or 7th standard now knows waste is a problem. So it is no use, telling people, please segregate your waste. They already know it. And they have heard this concept 10 years back. And some people agree to it, and some people still, do not agree to this whole concept of segregation or waste management. What you can do individually is set up an example. So people like examples and people like positive examples. So if, let's say, you start a community where you all are collecting waste, recycling waste, showing money to people that this is how we earn. Maybe not a profit, maybe a break even. But people follow examples. The time is for us who are in the system, who want to change the system, is to start showing people that it works. Majority of societies where I go in with a proposal, that let us recycle your wet waste, everybody is scared that smell will come and, things are going to go bad. And they are right in a way, because the negative examples are much higher than the positive examples today. There are no positive examples anywhere you can see. People are used to this smell of wet waste and they fear this wet waste. But
Right,
societies I am doing now, I have managed to remove this fear of this wet waste, that nothing will happen, you will not die. No flies are going to come to your house, and this methane gas and leachate underground and all these concepts that people have vanished, because I have shown them that it works. And it doesn't work 1 year, it has been working for 15 years. So
right,
when
sir.
people like you come into the system, start something which you can show a live example, that come, see, experience, study us, we are earning money, we are
Right.
employing people. See the amount of waste that I'm collecting, no smell, no issue, no problem. So when people
Right.
see a positive impact or a positive change, they will start following you and agreeing to you.
Right, sir.
So I
Because
would urge you to do something like this.
Because the last point I want to say is, even if there is no time to now aware the literate people, even there's no time to aware the illiterate people, because even they understand basic. It's a basic human understanding that yeah, cleanliness should be there, and then still they do is. So I think I agree to a point that we can show them instead of just telling them that don't throw
It's a time of showing now.
waste here.
Awareness
We can
time is
show
gone.
them that what can be done by that does. Yes,
Yes.
sir, absolutely. It's in the same.
I have some
Thank you.
thoughts on this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I have some thoughts on this. Firdoshi had said something beautiful. He said we need a pan-India platform where each of us can collaborate, whether
Yes.
it is on a city level, whether it is on an individual level. We can share our practices, which can be emulated by other people. So Vishwa has come out with this. We have declared Hyderabad will be zero waste by 2027, Swachh Hyderabad. And we've started an Instagram platform, and we've been requesting people to share their practices. So we had a lady called Meena. She shared a small video on how she was cutting her milk packets. and we had more than 1 lakh of viewers on it. Now, today, while I was cutting a packet for something else, generally I would have cut the whole thing. Now, remembering what she did, I only cut a part of it. One thing out of the 10 packets I cut, one packet I cut more, so I removed it and put it back in that. So yes, everybody knows waste is an issue, but all of us are not practicing it 360 degrees in our lives. Simple today. Now though I'm working myself in zero waste, I can see so many areas where I'm creating waste. I was putting a bottu in the morning. And I said, I'm not going to put a sticker. I'm going to put a tilakam. I'm going to put kumkum. There will be times when I'm traveling, probably I'll take a sticker. But that consciousness is there now. The other day I'd gone to a function. And yes, everybody started using disposable plates, disposable cups, mittika pots. But we're still using plastic water bottles. There is no alternative for it as of now. So we as a country, our entrepreneurs, our startups should come for alternatives for small bottles, for functions. Then, okay, we cannot do. But as people who are paying the caterers, we can demand that there should be 2 dustbins, one for plastics and one for the wet waste.
Absolute idea, ma'am.
So yes, we have awareness, but this awareness is not sufficient. As Firdosji said, we all have to come on one platform.
Yes.
And that platform, Vishwa is trying to build in that platform. Please do, each of you who are passionate and who knows who are passionate, please do share your video bites. We will share it with everybody else in the country.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, I can speak, adding to what Manav said.
yes.
I have worked for community waste management for my own community for more than 5 years, and it was quite an experience because not everybody is interested in waste management. For everybody, the working people and all that, they don't think that passionately the way this group or people who are here right now talking about this issue are speaking. So what I felt in my journey is a lot of people do not see any value or need of doing that, putting that extra effort in segregating waste at the source. 90% of the problem, in my opinion, can get resolved of waste disposal if we do the segregation correctly at the source, at the home level, from where it is generating, from your kitchen. Be it dry waste, be it reject waste, be it any kind of waste. When I was working, there were many kind of waste which fall in the category of organic waste, but they cannot be thrown into your green, So I have actually
Could you go off your video? We're unable to
myself,
hear your audio.
what kind
Go off video. We can't hear your audio. Yeah. We can't hear your audio. So go off video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yes.
It's better.
So I am from Indore, and I have, because of my interest, I have visited the places how the government is doing segregation there. And when I said that you are mixing up waste, even in dry waste, you just, collecting dry waste and wet waste together, and those you're just, segregating. And the real value out of the dry waste which you are creating is actually only 10% rather than, much more value it could create. So they did not agree, saying you are asking for micro level of segregation. Basically, understanding of the different kind of waste is very, very important, which people are not aware of. What we can do, Manav, adding to this, you can organize greenathon, walkathons to bring in awareness. You can organize plog walks. in your community, so that at least the new generation, at least the Gen Z, who are very aware about this particular topic, who are the one who will be living in the future world, they should create this awareness about it. And like-minded people should create a platform like Vishwa is creating, where all these things should be bring into platform. I want to create a community where the awareness about how to segregate waste at home level or at factory level should be created. I have my expertise and knowledge, but I don't know how to start that. So maybe I can connect with Vishwa and understand how I can step into this space and work on it. But yes, a lot of things can be done, like Firoz sir said, uh, rightly said, that segregation at source is very, very important, and we should all work towards it.
Yeah, sure. So we'll connect with you, Ms. Nehal. Unmute her, please. Don't when people are there, don't unmute them. Please unmute yourself, Nehal. Yeah, we'll connect with you. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Yes, I would like to be part of Vishwa, because this is very interesting. This is exactly what I wanted to do in waste management space, and meet with more of a kind of people who can, from where we can share knowledge and gain more knowledge about it.
Sure. Thank you so much. There's a question from Ms. Divya. What to do if municipal corporation does not listen to our complaints?
See, but which area do you stay in? Which municipal corporation is coming?
Divya, can you come online? We can't, if you are still there in the platform, raise your hand, we'll be able to see you.
And what is the complaint?
Okay. Until then, we'll take the next question. Azra Tabassum, please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Ruwala and Ms.
Yes.
Shivani. We both are basically diverse. We have moved in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. I am from Delhi and he is from Baroda. We have come here to dive and explore and also video, photograph and show it to the world and all that. But keeping that aside, waste over here is getting out of hand. Wherever we see, there is a lot of waste piled up near houses, roads, the drains, beaches, a lot of it, and even the streams, kind of. And we have taken it in our hands. Yes, we did some cleaning by ourselves, but we have an issue with the contact. We have no idea where to go to get it segregated, or where to go and start with the next process.
See, your first, where you need to start is not the person who's generating it, the person who's managing it. So like the advice here would be that do not fight with people who are generating waste. It just creates a negative environment. There will be a municipal council, or there might be a cantonment, or there might be some government body who is managing the area that you are staying. Plus, there will be, yes.
Basically, they come here, they do take the trash from their houses, then they say plastic and paper together and the wet waste separate. So all that is there. It's still, the things are in place, but we still see such a lot of orphan trash, as you mentioned. And we just don't know what to do.
You have to develop a system. Working alone will not help you. The system involves you, the system involves the government bodies, and the system may involve some private player who's ready to take up this challenge. Without this, the solution will not come so fast to you, unfortunately, because the mindset of people has got fixed that waste hai to we will throw it here, that's it. And it is not our responsibility. And again, like I had given in my presentation, you have to derive from where this waste is coming. So who is the bigger culprit? Who is the smaller culprits? So let's say tourism is a big culprit in Andaman Nicobar. So there are hotels, these fancy hotels, big hotels, small hotels. So you have to break up this whole system into parts. Who is doing what? and then start tackling one small topic at a time. That is where you may be able to, see some changes into the system. You may be able to grow your tribe. Today, 2 of y'all are there. Tomorrow, 20 of y'all might be there who are talking the same thing. So when more people talk of it, the government has to start giving you a ear to listen. That
My
they are
question over here to everybody who is in the audience, if anybody is from from the Union Territory who's listening, who is already into such things, please do raise your hand or let us know so we can contact you. We can get help from you, or any of us can be together.
Hazra, I can connect you to a lady called Rajshri. She heads GWC. Maybe you all can tie up and she can guide you because she's already doing it in certain villages in Hyderabad very successfully. Now she's taken it on in Kunur. Do you know Trishant? Okay, one of the Vishwas will contact you and connect you. Trishant, will you please do that? Connect Rajshri.
Yes, ma'am. Azra ma'am,
All
you
the
can
best.
DM me your phone number and I will get you in touch with ma'am.
Thank you so much, guys.
All the best to both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good
Great platform, Vishwa, Shrivani, and Trishant. And Firdosh, of course, you've been in the field with us for so many years. So I take care of the CSR initiatives of a software company, which is based in Pune. And I came to Pune 25 years ago when my husband retired from a job outside India. And since then, there's not been a single day where I put my wet waste to go to the municipal system. So we've been composting our kitchen waste from our house and my cook's house also. It's a family of 4 people. So family of 6 people, their wet waste has been going into the composting pit and not being given to the municipal collection system, which I'm proud of. And then 5-6 years ago, we started working with PMC, Swachh waste pickers and the Basti residents to see whether we can have a community composting pit in the slums of Pune. And it needs a lot of coordination because everybody has their role to play in it. Of course, the Basti residents have to segregate the wet and dry garbage. They have to give only wet garbage to the waste pickers to bring to the pit, which are designed by Firdosh, which the PMC gives us land for, which in some cases the PMC, the Pune Municipal Corporation, has built it themselves. So typically there are at least 7 or 8 pits, which are quite large. And in some cases, the corporators or Rotary have put in their money, which is 7 or 8 lakhs per group of 8 pits, which Firdosh designs based on how many households will bring their wet waste into it. And then Firdosh also comes to monitor that the process is going smoothly because it's a very delicate process. The wet waste is coming from about 500 households for each pit, Basti households. And there are always little bits of paper or glass or whatever in it. And the last segregation has to be done by a caretaker who we pay every month. Because if one person is not there to make sure that only wet waste goes into the pit, the whole process will get derailed. So it's a lot of coordination effort between these 3 or 4 major stakeholders. But it's successful, it's happening. And there is good quality compost that comes out of it, fertilizer, which can be used as a fertilizer in PMC gardens or by the farmers or by households. So it's a very successful project, and I would be very happy if there are any other NGOs or CSRs who want to see our model and want to do something similar. And that's all I want to say. And great work. I would like to be a part of this platform. Yes, and lastly, it's okay to go to individuals. Of course, we must do all that, individual households, societies, school children. But the biggest polluters are the big industries. And are you, Vishwa, are you thinking of going and talking to them? We hear of so much of sewage, that is, emptied into the rivers. So much industrial effluent that goes into the rivers and pollutes the water, from which many people are, drawing their own water into their own house for kitchen and all that. It's very important to work at that level also. It's not enough to work only at a very small individual level. We have to think of advocating with the government. And Firdosh, you mentioned the National Green Tribunal. I've heard
Yes.
that it is very ineffective because of political pressures.
Yes.
So, something has to be done at that level, I think, to see any change there.
It's both. It's a top to down and a bottom to up approach. Both
Yeah,
and side
that's
to
right.
side out.
Right. Unfortunately, the top down approach is more effective in our society or system or whatever. So we have to get the top involved also in it.
Not
They are
necessarily.
getting it.
Firdaus is making a difference. You are making a difference. We need leaders. We need leaders who are committed. We need leaders who are willing to see it till the end. Maybe our capacity is only this much, but this much, let us do it perfectly.
Yes.
Each of these 200 people who are passionate and who are here in this talk, we can do what our circle of influence, if we can make a difference, this will become a movement.
But I think we have to go beyond that to make any difference.
It will go.
Just staying there is not going to make much difference.
No,
I think we have to go
definitely
beyond.
go. As I told you, Vishwa started with 14 people. Today we are 200. So it will go. It will go. I'm very confident.
Thank you to both of you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
There is one question here. Now, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Firdaus, do you think decentralization of waste management is needed?
Yes, of course.
So what areas, is it 3 square kilometers in a city? How would you advise? Because you are in this area for almost 13, 14 years, you're working, you've got great experience.
We can't give a measurement to it. See, decentralization is the first part of decentralization is if I start recycling in my house. So that's the best type of decentralization. It's the most micro form of decentralization, where the waste that I generate, I decide that it is not going to go out. Ideally, if that happens in 140 crore houses, problem solved. But that does not happen. So second type of decentralization is community-based, where a community comes together, people staying in a society, people staying in an area, decide our waste will not go out. So they will do some recycling within their own premise, and they will see that the wet waste is composted and the dry waste goes to a vendor. So that is the second type of decentralization that can happen. Third type may be that the government may or the municipal corporation may want to set up a recycling plant in smaller prabhags. Each city is divided into a ward. So like Pune has got nearly 14 wards. Every ward has a population of 5 to 6 lakhs. So if a separate entity or a group of people serve these population of 5 lakhs only, it becomes easier to manage. The advantage of decentralization is it becomes easier to manage. Today there is centralization. One corporation collecting waste of everybody. And this triangle base is just growing and growing and growing. So break up this triangle.
So when you said how many wards are there in the municipality?
Pune 14 wards are there. Like Hyderabad has got more than 100, I think.
Okay.
So if each ward works towards it, a ward can be either by the municipal corporation, a ward can be also of the elected political representative, that he may say, no, I represent this ward. I may want to do something for this 5 lakh population who stays with me.
So your advice is every ward should become decentralized. One is one is community level and one is ward level. Excellent.
Yes.
Are there any policies or papers or white papers people are getting out on how to handle waste management?
You will have to. So that's why I said that we need a body which helps people to do things. The information on Google is vast, but the problem is it is not verified or certified or authenticated. So if there is a group of people who can, because our knowledge of waste management, unfortunately now, is through WhatsApp messages. We see some lady sitting somewhere is recycling jeans into bags. After a few months, we don't hear where that lady is gone. There are some people who made bags out of PET bottles, but we don't know where they are gone. Where are they successful? Are they sustaining? And if I want to contact such a person, there is no name and number of that person. So it is better we come together, form a group that this is what we do. I do waste management, you do plastic, somebody does metal. There is also a commissioner maybe in our group who can suggest that I know how to get things done in the government level. So there are many players who can come in and do a lot of good things.
Okay. Vishwa is contemplating to open one page on waste management alone, where we want to list out all the aggregators, the alternative suppliers and all. We're working on this currently.
Exactly, yes.
So that it can be used by anybody across the country.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Srinivas, would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Unmute yourself. We still can't hear you. Is your mic working? Okay, until then, we'll go to the next person. When you're ready, let us know. I'll keep you on the spotlight. Ms. Sheki, please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the talk. Actually, I'm not from here. Like, I'm from Bhutan, and I'm on SBI fellowship. So I'm working on a project for now, like for a year, that would be on waste management in rural community. So for this, like right now, like I'm thinking of cleanup drive and awareness, but the biggest challenge I'm facing is like after this cleanup drive, how am I going to manage the waste that I've collected, and also if I after I'm like done with the installations and all, like it was the problem that the people were facing. Like they had dustbins and all where they could throw, but then again there were no one to collect, and the only thing they could do was burn. So I'm not sure like how I could manage overcome this one. So I wanted to discuss this.
The research that you are doing has to have a start and end. Keep that in mind. This awareness and collection are good. Many people are doing this, but I know after the collection, they don't know what to do with what they have collected. So the end part is again, like I say, you find a vendor who is ready to take this, what you're collecting. So where you are, there will be vendors.
I'm in rural. Yeah, right now, like I'm in Coimbatore, rural. It's a rural area, so like there's no one here to come and get it. So
even from the side, if you can get a vendor, because you have to show value in your research, or you have to show value in the system that you are setting in. The value is shown either by the success of the system, the financial gains of that system. If you don't show that, then your research is of not much of a value to or use. So I would suggest that you search a vendor first who is ready to take this material that you collect. You may not need to collect each and every material from a household. Let's say you may find a vendor who does recycling of glass bottles, plastic bottles, or of textile, of shoes, the common household materials. Let them come into your system first, then you start the collection. Let people see that it is a success route. There is a vendor, he is coming. You are the coordinator in the system. You collected 500 kg, 400 kg. The vendor pays you for that, or vendor pays the community for that. They benefit from that. So that whole cycle has to be completed by you in your research, which will always give you a better sense of doing this research.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is from Snehal Hartalkar. The real issue in waste recycling is washing of recycling disposed waste and washing and cleaning to bring it to recyclable condition is a huge expense. What is your take on that, sir?
If we segregate, we don't need the washing part.
So
that is why
I heard milk packets have to be washed, shampoo bottles have to be washed, cream bottles have to be washed before they are sold.
But that is a problem of the recycler. It is not much of a challenge. The problem of washing is not the material that is inside. The problem of washing is that the material we mix and put inside.
Okay, got it.
So
Like
if a milk pouch, yes, milk pouch has to be recycled. Milk pouch is of a particular plastic. So a recycler of milk pouches will clean the plastic, shred it and make it into pellets again to be given to the larger recycler who's making milk pouches. So if they find an impurity in it of a different plastic or a material, they do not buy these pellets. So that is the impurity to be removed while washing.
Okay. And I heard that when you get a Swiggy box, it's better to empty it rather than keep it with the wet waste inside the box and dispose it. What is your thought on that?
Swiggy box means the corrugated boxes.
No, the online food boxes that they're taking off late.
The plastic ones. They can be recycled. We are throwing them away because we don't need them.
No, with the food inside.
With the food inside, again, is the problem of segregation.
Okay. So you don't think
again, I come back to the same thing. Don't throw your food. Eat whatever you are buying. Value the food that you are buying. Make it a policy in your house that we don't throw food. If these policies are then the Swiggy boxes will come out clean.
Okay.
And the boxes are good. We wash it and use it in our house. Okay. The black color box.
Okay. Yes. Please.
Thank you, Shrivani madam. Mr. Firdaus sir, it was a very great, insightful thoughts about waste management. So, sir, actually, when I went to the pilgrimage to Tirupati, I noticed that we have to give only the not a plastic bottle for filling the water. So, it is being a hilly station, I haven't found any bottled water. Either we have to carry a glass bottle or else we need to fill up there. So do you think that sustainable practices would be imparted to other municipalities? This could reduce the plastic bottle usage.
This is common in many religious places and tourist places.
Okay, sir.
Where, like if you go to Jim Corbett also, they don't allow you to carry plastic bottles. And even if you carry it inside, they give you a chit that you went with 5 bottles and they check it when you come out that the 5 bottles come back. So it's a common practice which unfortunately has to be enforced on people to follow this so that they don't sit and disperse of the PET bottles in either religious places or good tourist areas. So this is commonly done in many places today by the local municipal corporations or the governing bodies of that places. It is a good practice. I don't feel that it can be changed. It should be followed everywhere rather.
They don't allow plastic bottles, but Kurkure packets are there everywhere.
No, Jim Corbett, they didn't allow that also. Like if you're taking it, you have to show it that I've got it back.
Okay. Why, if they can practice it in Tirupati, why not in other municipalities?
Because they see Tirupati is here that because the audience is focused, they have come for a particular reason. In a municipal corporation, the audience is not focused. Everybody just walking around. So Tirupati, they can do it. They can do it in all good religious, large or small religious places. This practice can be adopted that there is no plastic.
Sir, another question is like 35% of our waste, especially it is from a wet waste, come from our homes. So I have read an article also. I think it's in Pune. They are giving a rebate in their house tax whenever they are composting the food in their
Yes.
housing society.
Yes.
So I think that such type of policies which can be adopted by the certain municipalities across India will bring some part of change. I'm not saying big change, but at least a grass level change.
Yes, it is. I mentioned in my presentation that 5% rebate is not only offered on wet waste, it is offered on solar and it is offered on rainwater harvesting also. So total you can get up to 15% rebate on your property tax, which is very advantageous for people. And it is working well.
Yes.
Luckily, the corporation also now goes back to check every year that if you have taken the rebate, is your composting pit working? So society has to give a letter also every year for that.
Okay.
So it's good practice. I think all municipal corporations should follow, because without finance coming in, systems don't work. People like to earn money or save money by doing something, and that money is always a good motivator for people to do something.
How does
Thank you, sir.
Singapore manage it, sir? Do they also charge? How does it work there?
Pardon?
How does Singapore do its waste management?
No idea, madam.
Okay. This is from Ram Buche. Wastage from construction in urban areas is a big problem, whereas construction waste is recyclable 100%, but there are no entrepreneurs in recycling of building waste. Please highlight on the issue. What is your thought on that?
Again, goes back that the problem is there because the onus of picking up this waste lies only with one body, the municipal corporation. Their hands and legs and mouth and neck, everything is tied. They can't handle this. So again, the solution lies is where you redefine the sources of waste. Like a gated community does not generate too much of a construction waste, or an ungated community or a education. So redefining who is generating this, targeting them separately, and then developing a recycler for it works. The why construction waste doesn't get recycled is the general trend is anybody who is doing any kind of civil work, there is a private party which comes into this picture. They pick up your waste, and where it goes, nobody knows. You pay them amount for picking up that construction waste debris, and where it goes, they'll go and throw it on ideally it's on the highways or some abandoned places, and the story ends over there. If solution is there, people will adopt this system. But right now, there is no solution for construction.
So in Hyderabad, there is Ramki, which is authorized to
pick up
construction waste. But the problem is what happens is in small houses, if there's just a little bit of construction waste, they just dump it in the nearest abandoned location.
Yes.
Land. That's a problem. Okay. Next question, Ms. Parvati Chadda, please ask it.
Namaskar to everyone. I want to share a success story.
Very nice.
I reside in Pune just the way Mr. Firdaus does. And I have managed to convince government entities to participate in waste management from my Prakalp, which is manufacturing of biopolymer. I am setting up a factory, which is an alternate to chemical plastic. It is a very successful venture. I have a mantra of problems none, solutions galore. And that is what led me to convince the General Post Office General Master as well as the IGR of Registration and Stamps and Duty. I showed them how waste which they generate on their own can find a way, and they are so happy in participating in cash for trash. It worked. We set a goal for ourselves, and I have calculations that this Diwali, the staff can earn themselves 50-gram worth silver coin.
Oh, wow.
It has now become their religion. You don't see anything in these two offices flying around. It's a very positive reaction, because I also picked up a dry waste person from my area. I reside in Udaybag in Pune. While it may have a reputation of being a Tony area, but the people also have Tony attitudes when it comes to why they believe their trash is your issue, not theirs. So taming of the shrew takes place from time to time, but I don't waste my energies fighting with people as to why they're doing what. I have blacklisted a particular residential area amongst Udaybag because they are the perpetuators of how you can do everything wrong. Let them do what they want to. The others are now earning money, and you can see that some of the perpetuators are now approaching us and saying, okay, fine, we'll follow if you can just guide us, because they realize that whatever they're throwing, there is money to it. So if this be the mantra for money, I'm very successful. And if anybody would like to, reach across, I'll be so happy to share, because we are offering carbon credits, net neutrality, something which people are not aware of, and they don't know how to cash in on it. So when the Department of Post, we are doing their audit for them, and this is all complimentary. This is all gratis. We are not charging for it because it's such a revenue earning model in any case. I'd like to revert back to you all within the next 2 months when my project is ready, and people from Pune must come and visit these offices, because we're not only helping them with dry and wet waste management, we are greenifying their areas, and we are reducing their AQI. We have set target of 45 AQI for this particular road on which both these offices are situated. And I would invite anyone in Pune in the next 2 months to please come and spend time there, so that they can understand that give me a problem and I will come out with a solution. I'm willing to go the last mile.
Vishwa will reach out to you, ma'am. We are working in Hyderabad. We definitely need your advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job.
Next question is from Prashant. Sir, can you give an idea for how to manufacture community incinerator aerobic bin?
Community incinerator is different and aerobic bin
Yeah, aerobic bin.
Yes. Incinerator is only for waste which has no recyclable value. Ideally, it is for sanitary pads, adult diapers, baby diapers. Because nothing can be done with these kind of waste that we generate. Aerobic composting bin can be set up based on the number of flats that are there and the number of amount of space that is available in the society. So I can guide him on this. Maybe if he can call me sometime later on, then because it will be a lengthy discussion on how the whole system sets up, but I'll be happy to help. So they can take my contact number from Vishwa, and I'll be happy to help them set up a community composting system in that place.
Yes. Ms. Kapitra, please ask your question.
Hello. Thank you so much for today, because I think many of us are working in this area, but we feel very isolated, and we are isolated. I mean, a lot of people I know, a lot of seniors, a lot of people who are younger than me are relentlessly been working. But I think, the isolation part is something which needs to be covered. And somebody suggested that you make a WhatsApp group or something and add all of us there. That please, if you could. So I stay in Navi Mumbai, and I work through my own, I call it my passion project, I don't call it a venture. I say overt. And I've been working since the last 7 years. And my area of work has been human nature consciousness and behavior change. Because I think that is something somebody needs to look at that part, because that's what is going to make that difference. Particularly when I think of the word recycling, I've come to terms after 7 years, and I have I have a collective of more than 1,000, a reach of more than 2,000. But then that numbers is something which is needs to look at the behavior, what they're showing. And when that comes to that, what I have seen is the word recycling itself instigates. As a consumer, you are a consumer. If you are a consumer, your main approach is that you're going to consume anything. Let it be anything, food, let it be a thing. And looking at the different generations we have come from, I think we have been accumulators of things. Let it be my parents or grandparents, and that has looked upon as something which is like, your development. Like the country right now is looking at railways, roadways, the infrastructure is looked at as development, right? So as a family, how do you look at development? When you accumulate things, when you have a new Almera, new scooter, new car, anything new. So I look at these things and try to see how to bring about that change, and that needs to be worked from a family perspective. It's not just children, it's not just parents. The family constellation is what I work with. And when I started working from a family constellation point of view, that is where I got the change in. So I just wanted to share this part that, how this whole behavior change, human nature consciousness needs to be brought in. Only then that mindset will change. Otherwise, we are going to continue. So rather than, though I also have been, doing these recycling projects, there's a milk bag project which happens here, which I am doing, a lot of people are doing. And looking at milk bag recycling itself, I speak to 100 people, maybe one will, speak to me again about it, and then maybe 1 in 200 will actually follow it. That's the kind of numbers.
And what is your question?
It's not a question. It's just a sharing. So because there have been a lot of points about, these are what it is. I think what we are looking at here is that, we're also sharing with each other what we have been doing isolatedly. Yeah. So I think rather than recycling, I have actually come down to reduce only, as sir said, let people say how to reduce, how to repair. So, these repairing shops which are there in even nook and corners of different markets, how they can also be brought in as, change makers. And, to do all this and to also, refuse the whole thing and going ahead is something, we are looking at. And in Navi Mumbai, especially, we have a lot of wetlands, we have mangroves, a lot of people who are getting into it. But where does that garbage come from? It comes from people who actually take those packets and throw it into the, into the sea, into the river, into the, they think, it's like, something which is part of their tradition and they're doing it, let it be malas, let it be puja stuff. So I'm looking at these small things and trying to make that difference, in thought processes. It's a relentless fight, I know. And thank you so much for everything, and a lot of questions here, which, is really kind of good to hear, actually, because then that we are all there, and we need to come together.
Not because we're running out of time, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing.
Ma'am, I just want to ask one question here.
Go off video.
Sir.
Your voice is not audible.
Sir, I see this.
Voice is not audible, ma'am. Yeah.
Is it audible now? Yeah. So ma'am, Firoz sir, one thing, as per my experience working in this field, there are 3 stages of waste management. First is segregation. Then second is first is collection, then second is segregation, and third is disposal. Now, by doing a lot of community activities and all that, we can champion collection as well as segregation also. What I found a practical problem is, after I dispose my community waste and the municipal corporation, specifically in Bangalore, because I have worked in Bangalore community. So what they do is, because the facilities of municipal corporations are not so big. They dispose it into, outskirts of the city or some particular, and they create a different, landfill kind of, spaces. So what is the point? People ask me this question. हम तो सब सेपरेट कर रहे हैं मैडम, वहां जाके तो आप सब मिक्स करेंगे ही. So I don't have any answer when they say that I am asking you to do an effort, but at the end the waste will not get, its rightful way of getting disposed or, recycled. How to tackle that?
So that is the one of the solutions that I was giving is, you are again going back to the municipal corporation, which does not have a solution. They are used to these old methods of working. They are used to their old systems, and they will not change. And why should they change for you? You have to bring in the whole system, which is completely new. The first part is that there is no collection and segregation. There is segregation, then only we will collect. Without that, we don't collect. Second, which I have been repeating again and again, get vendors into the system who know what to do with the material. The corporation does not know what to do with this material. They are already fed up with this material, collecting it day in and day out. Private vendors in the system will bring in a change, will help you. They will show financial gains for that resident. So
Sir,
if
in
you
that one more thing happens, as per my experience, when they see even the community members of residential society, when they see that there is a value, they want to sell it by themselves, and they want the money back from themselves. So it's my garbage, it's my money.
That is more good. That is again decentralized. So let's say you start the system, and out of 100 people, 10 people say, no, that money is mine, so I will sell it separately. Fine, the same vendor will go to 10 houses to buy their dry waste, and 90 resident dry waste, he'll buy it from you. It is still fair enough. See, now money is shown, everybody's ears are up. That, I want. So, but the system is getting set. The right people are coming into. You are part of the system where you're developing it. There's a vendor who knows what to do with this. Residents are now seeing that there is monetary value. So there is a system which is positive. The old system of the municipal corporation goes out, and a positive impact is made. And people will like to replicate this, what you're doing. So that's what I'm saying. Get private players into the system. People are not doing that. Again, they are going back to the same corporation. People do plogathons and all this collection, and all that waste that is collected goes back to the municipal corporation, which they don't know what to do with it. So till more private players who know how to recycle, who understand this waste, that what happens to a PET bottle, what happens to a HDP drum, what happens to a polypropylene, what happens to wet waste, why aluminum, why is sold high, they bring value to the system. So you will have to.
So, sir, the people like me or Kavita ji and Parvati ji, who spoke just about what we are doing at a community level, bringing in awareness, setting up processes, and we know how actually the depth of the problem, because we have dirtied our hand into it. Now, the thing is, you can do it passionately for a long. How to monetize this whole process, and how to actually make it as not just your passion, but a full-time work, or passion where we actually gain some, even monetary benefit also out of it, rather than just doing, social service.
So your first step is a good vendor who understands it. So even a local Bhangarwala who has been working in this field for many years can become your partner. He will be more than happy to help to get a. See, you are giving him an audience which he never got. You have good communication skills, you have good techniques to convince people. He does not have that. He has knowledge of the dry waste material. Partner with such people. Make 3-4 people into your group. See how it goes. The local vendor sells it to a bigger vendor who will do baling, put it in a truck, sell it to a larger recycler. So there are more than 3-4 chains of recycling for dry waste, and each has a value. Each dry material has a value. Like aluminium sells in Pune sells at 40 rupees a kg. A very good value. Corrugated boxes sell at 15-20 rupees a kg.
Right.
You have to develop vendors for these types of material where money starts coming into the system. It's a slow process. There's a lot of learning for it. Just everything cannot be collected into one drum and then you expect money will come. You will have to start learning to segregate the segregated also.
Absolutely correct. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, our next question is from Mr. Surupneni. Please unmute it.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Firdoshi.
Good afternoon.
It's a long session. So, you can, I'll just share some of my thoughts, I'll just share with you. At the same time, there'll be just 1 or 2 questions. You may reply now, or we can do it offline, or you can just share your mail ID, where we need to interact further. And I am also I'm quite impressed, so impressed that I think, I'm sure Srivani madam will also wait for that. So I think do come to Hyderabad. And apart from that, we both also can go around and visit the Suraj Hyderabad Metropolitan Water Supply Suraj Board and agencies, just to get an idea. Just a friendly visit, because I had some interaction. So you probably will see some good things also here. So one such thing I just want to ask you, like this Indore and Pune models have been quite successful consistently, right?
Yes.
So in fact, I put it in the chat box. Since nevertheless I'm come on one-to-one, let me also ask you that question. So I was wondering, definitely there has been a wonderful collaboration from all the people, right from the household level to the politician to the mayor to everything. Because I read about it, so nothing more. It's all there. It's all there in black and white. Why they're successful? But I wanted to know from your view, but because you may be definitely having the real depth knowledge of why these two models are successful, would it be, does the size of the city help? For example, scaling up to that level in Hyderabad or Bombay, can we compare the successful models of Indore and Pune to a place like Hyderabad? Do you see some challenges and whatever? Secondly, was there some kind of an organic kind of what you call improvement? I mean, was it like something like the people of Pune and Indore were always very sensitive to the ground reality? They always had it in them. So that made things. I mean, I'm saying maybe the awareness level was always like that, so it became very easy for the government to get them on board. Was it something like that? So you may or may not answer right now, but at least that's just a thought process out of my adulation for those good work done. That's one thing. Am I? Hello?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I thought that's one thing. So that's about Indore and this thing. The second thing is, in the chat box also, I don't know if it has got, somebody has rightfully put the question. See, what happens now when we are trying to, see, some communities are directly segregating and they're handing over the dry waste to some companies, some whatever names are there. So they get there and they're selling that dry waste and they're getting the money out of it.
Yes.
But what happens is, when the municipal worker comes to pick up the waste, daily waste, so that means you're only giving him wet waste and not the dry part. What he wants is, he will be very happy to have the dry waste also, because that's where he gets a profit from. So these are certain very basic things where when you just can't do it, we can't generalize it. I hope that's one thing. And other thing is the other wrong. See, in a company, in a city like Hyderabad, gated communities have become of different sizes. Some 10. So I don't know whether, and they don't have space also. Some of the communities don't have space for composting. So do you have a solution tailor-made for different communities from your experience? That's one thing I wanted to know. Where
Daily
you can do
solution.
composting. Yeah, you have.
Yes.
That's another thing. And other thing is, you talked about
Close this
the
another 2 minutes, so we'll have to be very
yeah, ma'am. So one is there is one very successful model in Hyderabad. There is a vehicles. In fact, we had funded one vehicle during my service through CSR. There's a jetting, grabbing, and rodding vehicle. Probably you heard about it. Do you have those kind of vehicles in Pune? And are they incentivized? See what it's a beautiful model. Yeah. No, okay. Because I just trying to give him some. Okay, this you can probably tell me, because what I would like to share with you, it has worked very successfully here. They have actually custom made a vehicle to suit the size of the by-lanes of Hyderabad. So they had so many vehicles. It is not, but then the wisdom lay in custom making the vehicle to the size to suit, so it get into the by-lanes of Hyderabad and reach out to the manholes. So it does the jetting, grabbing, and rodding while removing the manhole, and avoiding manual entry. So, and the beauty is these sanitary workers have been the government is giving the loan, and the payback period is very, very kind of very justifiable, and they become the owners. Why? What made me think about it is when you mentioned about those women cooperatives now. So something like that is working in Hyderabad also.
Good.
So there are a few other things where I might ultimately I feel enforcement. I don't know if you're aware. Hydra is the common, like Andaman Nicobar, that poor people were complaining about a very basic thing. So Hydra, I'm not saying Hydra like enforcement agency is doing a fantastic job in as far as removing encroachments in the lakes is concerned. Something like that has to happen in the waste front also. I think I've said so many things. Just so you may react to one or two things. Otherwise, you can choose not to. You can reply
we will
me.
connect later on, sir. We will connect on. So.
we will.
Yes.
So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for
It very enlightening session. Yeah.
Munia Muni, would you like to ask your question quickly?
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yes. Namaste सभी को. This is Kedar Chaudhary from Odisha. Unfortunately, my video is not working. So I work in a non-profit organization, and I have been working with aligning three themes. One is livelihood security, second thing is gender, third thing is the climate action. And mostly my work in the rural areas. So rural waste management is an area where I am interested, because a lot of solutions people are thinking in the urban areas, but rural area waste management is a key issue for us, for our livelihood of our target community. So 2-3 things we do, and we want to learn more about the solutions in the rural areas. One is the promoting of organic farming, animal waste, cow dung, cow urine. So this is creating, in some villages, it is creating much problem. It is stinking, it is creating mosquitoes, it is all these things. How that can be through biogas and through organic manure preparation. So those kind of things, solutions with the women groups we are doing, women self-help groups and women FPOs. And we have just started, and we are searching for some other solutions, how that can be done. Another is the now it was a problem in Haryana and those places, that stubble burning. So it was affecting Delhi. But now it has started in Orissa. Although stubble burning has started everywhere, because people are not, there is no labor for cutting the paddy. So they are using this rotavector or something. So there will be stubbles in there. So they are burning it. So it has a now new challenge. So we tried in 1 or 2 cases how to utilize that biodecomposer. So by utilizing it, making it to decompose and making it to manure. But it is not picking up. People are not interested. A lot of awareness and training in that is required. So we are also looking for that solutions and that kind of support and technicality. So that we are looking for. Third thing is the plastic.
plastic is now also is a menace in the rural areas now. Everything is in pouches. People are using. So we have started a campaign, the plastic free village, plastic free household, plastic free schools. So that's campaign also we have done with our own effort. That is not a project or funded by anybody. And I am networked with different institutions who are working on plastics. So that is another aspect. Another thing is that using of bioenzymes to purify the water bodies, small water bodies. So that we are being trained by Bioenzyme Society there in Bangalore. So we are trained, and we have trained our self-help group members how to prepare the bioenzyme, and in their small ponds in the rural areas we have started using that. So these are the solutions we have started on our own, and we want to be connected with the people who have other solutions for that, so that effective solutions we are looking for that. And I am happy that I was invited to this group to meet, and thank you, Isha, for providing me this opportunity to let each other know each other and get connected. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Munian, please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. We can hear you. No.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
ಸರ್ ಇದು ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ನಾನು ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಅದೇ ಈಗ.
Sorry, which language? Kannada? You're speaking in Kannada?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So, can you speak in English?
To translate.
Is there anyone in the group who can translate this? I think if you would have asked a little earlier, we could have found Mr. Mysore would have been able to do it. But I don't think we understand Kannada. But anyway, try it. Ask slowly.
Okay, madam. Okay. ಈ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ? ಹೌ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇನ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್?
Okay. How to start a
ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾವ ತರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು?
starting. What is the starting amount you need to start a waste business is his question.
ಹೌದು ಮೇಡಮ್.
Zero. Which means you don't need any money to start the zero waste business. You collect.
What type of waste you want to start in is first. So that will have to be translated to him. Is waste is a very large area. He has to pinpoint on what type of waste he wants to work in.
Munia garu, మీరు ఏ ఏరియాలో you want to do in waste management? Is it segregation? Do you want to buy paper? Do you want to buy plastics? Do you want to collect and have an incinerator? ఏ ఏరియాలో మీకు?
Bangalore.
No, in Bangalore, which area of
Small area, not big area, small area.
Which area?
Small area. Nearby Bharat Nagar, Anjana Nagar.
So
you are from Bangalore.
Which type of waste? Plastic, wet waste, metal, textile, furniture. What waste you want to start?
Plastic.
So again, plastic also. If you want to do in plastic, from where will you collect? Which community, which area, and how you will collect? So if you employ a vehicle, it's a cost. If you coordinate with local people, rag pickers, bring them into the system, they will get you the plastic that you want to recycle. So everybody earns money in the system then.
So you collect and you sell to recyclers.
Yes, okay.
What is how much capital can you put in?
Madam, ನನಗೆ ಇದೊಂದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಇದೊಂದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಸ್ಲೋ.
ನನ್ನ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಇದೇ ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಹೌ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು.
So you want to be an aggregator? You collect plastic, you sell plastic.
Okay, okay, madam.
You have to decide which area, how much area you want to cover.
Sorry, madam. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Please ask your question, Abhishek Rawat. Unmute yourself and ask.
Good afternoon, all. Hi, ma'am. Hi, sir. Myself, Abhishek Rawat. I am from Uttarakhand, based on Himalayan region of Uttarakhand. So, Uttarakhand is known for the tourism, all know, all Char Dham tourism and everything. But the real problem in hilly areas is waste management. Waste management, if I talk about its improper disposal of waste, not only by tourists, but also by locals. So, as an organization, I'm looking for two questions here. First of all, with whom or which department we have to reach for land for infrastructure of MRF plant, including the basic machines of that area inside the MRF plant. And my second question is how to make it sustainable in terms of operation. These all things, sir.
First is don't jump into directly starting an MRF plant. First, you develop, again, I'm saying develop the system of how you're going to collect. Let's say you're starting an MRF plant for certain type of dry waste, plastic, metal, things like that. Once you have to decide from whom you're going to collect and how is it, what is the method of collection. See, many of these aggregators in Pune who started, no, there are many companies who started that give us a call and we'll come to your house to pick up your dry waste. They all vanished. The reason being is the cost of logistics is so high. People call for one small bag of some plastic waste and he's coming 20 kilometers away. Now he comes just because he has promised that I will come. So it does not work like that. So before starting a MRF plant as such, a proper one, you have to first develop a economical model for collection. If you do not succeed in this collection part, you will fail in your MRF. Because the model has to be that either somebody gives you the waste free of cost, like let's say tourism is there. So let's say first you target only the hotels. Whoever has set up a hotel, your first target is there. Local residents are different and tourists who come are different. So you have to break it down into parts. So a hotel will generate the maximum amount of dry waste, which is good. Value is good. Bottles, glass bottles, aluminum cans, plastic bags, things like that. Develop a system where you can collect this efficiently. Once this collection happens, I am sure any local politician and the local municipal body will be happy to support you. Because cleanliness is now a mantra in many political circles. Every politician wants to show their area is clean. But they don't know how to do this. So you come into the picture where you give this support to these people and they will be happy to set you up for a MRF plant.
Okay, sir. So in certain rural area, there is no Nagar Palika, basically. Nagar Palika is, there are some areas where Nagar Palika does not lie. So whom we have to target? We have to target Jila Panchayat or
Yes, Zilla Parishad, the Gram Panchayat. The Gram Panchayat will have a, sir, there will be an elected body, Sarpanch will be there. They are happy to help. But first, I would still say that you start small. Let's say you target only hotels, which will be a large quantity in Uttarakhand.
Okay, sir.
So if the hotel people agree, others will start agree, start showing success models on a smaller scale. Political will is required for you. Political and bureaucrats, you cannot remove them from your system saying, "Main sab ye akele hi karunga." It will not happen.
We have to,
you have to take them into the system because only they can give you this land and funding and things like that.
Okay, sir.
If you show a success model, CSR funding also comes in very easily.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. This is from Mr. Amit. your thought processes on innovative ideas over wet waste to biomass, and also microplastics at a global level.
Wet waste to biomass is what I am developing in Pune, because frankly, compost does not have too much of a financial value in our system. People say that, urban waste, you make compost and sell it to the farmer. Farmer is 50 kilometers away. They don't waste money on logistics. So the society has to use its own compost. Biomass briquetting I started working upon is because it's a financially viable model for people who want to do wet waste recycling. Biomass sells at 10-15 rupees a kg. It is used by many industries now who have furnaces and boilers and want to be ESG compliant. Because ESG compliance says that you cannot use fossil fuels, you cannot use wood, or you cannot use material which are toxic to the environment. Biomass briquetting solves that problem for a lot of these countries, a lot of these companies who have furnaces, boilers. So the source of energy is from a material which is anyways being thrown out. That is why I'm working on biomass briquetting for wet waste. Biomass briquetting is being done commonly from agriculture waste, from sawdust, charcoal powder, rice husk, peanut shells, many things. But from wet waste, I don't know if how many others are doing it, but I am developing my own method of how it can become a good financial viable model for many people to follow, municipal corporations to follow. And microplastic, yes, it is everywhere. You can't do much about it. It's there in the system. It has happened because if you see, I don't know if you all are aware of this Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is the floating mass of plastic in the ocean. It covers around 14 lakh square kilometers. Maharashtra is 3.5 lakh square kilometers. So it is 3 or 4 times the size of Maharashtra. It's a floating soup of plastic based on the density of plastic. Some plastic is floating on top and some has got submerged at the ocean floor. And as plastic degrades over a period of time, the microplastic is already there in our water. How much ever you try, I'm sorry, no solution on that, unless someone comes out from it.
How can we, this is from Monica Bhattacharya, how can we get the place for processing waste? Can we ask the municipality to give a place?
Again, depends on which municipality. Pune, I know that if you show a success, the government is ready to help. But again, space is a premium in any city. So expecting it from the government or something, that is why what I do is I recycle wet waste of societies in-house, in their own premise. That's the best way to go about it. Expecting land from a municipal corporation is difficult unless you have a very influential backing behind you or things like that. But it goes under litigation because moment a wet waste set up in public land, a lot of people will come opposing it, that why are you only setting up a wet waste thing here? You can do this, you can do that, you can set up a library. A public toilet is more important than a wet waste processing plant. Lot of things come in. So municipal corporation, I don't think can give you land for a wet waste recycling. You will have to encourage gated communities to do it in-house within their own premise.
Suppose, like every ward, is there a possibility of asking the government to float a tender for people to give the best technology and to operate?
No, rather divide the ward first. Because let's say in a ward, let's say there are 100 gated communities, and let's say there are 30 companies, and let's say there are 10 schools, and then there is average public school, government school. People who can afford should not be given services. So there is a high-class society with 100 flats and all Mercedes are there. The government should not afford, cannot give them service because they can afford it. They can buy a 10 lakh machine or take the best vendor available in town and recycle waste on their own.
But you are saying to decentralize.
So again, in a ward, you can still break up the ward in many parts. Somebody who can afford it and has the space, encourage them to do that. let's say slums do not have the space. So that is where the corporation can come in with a tender that we have these 3 slums with 5,000 people staying. We will give you land, but show us your method. Private schools can afford it because they are taking a huge fee, but maybe government schools cannot afford it. So there has to be a segregation even at this level on who we are going to offer our service to. As a government, I'm saying.
Abhishek, please ask your question.
Yes. Hello. First of all, thank you for arranging this session. It has been a wonderful hearing from you. Like I have been attending these short sessions from before as well, but this is the first time. Like I could say, it truly struck my chord with what Firdaus sir is doing in Pune. I basically live in Pune as well. But I have been interested in this field for like past 3 to 4 years. I have been researching about like my mantra. I would say it's acquired from my mother or father. It's like no waste is a waste. One man's gold can be always other man's treasure. Okay, so in that field, I was trying to get maybe we can for the segregation part, maybe we can cluster the waste generating entities like IT parks themselves do have their own waste segregation, but then again, those IT parks also we do not know where their waste goes, and anyhow our landfills are increasing as a result of that. Even in Pune and cities like Pune, Goa, or Mumbai, event management is a very big industry. They also produce a lot of waste, and their waste is usually manageable, but uh, they also tend to avoid this and just slide off the parts. Whether it's again same the case with transport, hospitals, and just like Firdaus sir said, like I have been to Pimpri Bhaji Mandi or the old Pune Bhaji Mandi, and I have been seeing the waste that is generated every evening or market yard. But that whenever I ask them what do you do with this, they just say that we just throw it away, or they just like in the dustbin that goes which gives odd smell in the 15-20 days everything happens. But if we were to even compost that as well, that would be like these were some ideas that I had been trying to come up with to group the places, bhaji mandis or general stores, a group of general stores. But I didn't know how to go with this, like put forward my ideas and work in this field. So any guidance, any words of guidance from Firdaus sir or Srivani ma'am would be really grateful. Even Trishant, I would really like to listen. Or maybe if I can contribute to your cause, Firdaus sir. I am an engineer by profession, automotive engineer. So I can be helpful for some technical help as well. That's my intro.
Do you like to answer that?
Just ask 2 sentences in your question. Just ask this question in 2 sentences. There's too much that you had asked. Just ask your question in 2 sentences.
Okay. So in 2 sentences, I would say, how can I, like, as I have told you the overall my journey, how can I like, concentrate on the part that I would like to work? Like, I know for sure I want to work on waste segregation. How could I go
As an
in
entrepreneur,
forward?
as an NGO? As an entrepreneur, as an NGO? We can't hear you. Your video is stuck.
Hello?
Yeah, as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, like first as a learner, I want to start small. First as a learner,
I think
maybe
with the Vishwa team, they'll guide you. You can create awareness. You can, I think you can start with building awareness among your circle of influence.
that would be great. And later on, maybe
Simple
yes,
30-second videos of all the people around you on what are their practices and how is it helping.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Dinesh, please ask your question. Be small, make it short. I want to close
Yeah,
this.
so ma'am, thank you. Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
So I'm Dinesh from the Jharkhand. So I've been working in plastic upcycling. So I've been creating payments out of it and also coaster. So recently I have created a prototype and which has been approved by the testing authorities. So right now I'm looking for a large scale production. So my question is how to raise fund and how to approach investors for this process.
My answer would be there are a lot of grants now from the central government
Okay, sir.
for entrepreneurs in solving problems related to a city, and problems related to a city come in transport, water, waste also. But this fund is given through incubators.
All right,
So
sir.
there are registered. Have you gone through any incubator as such in your business?
Yeah, I have pitched my projects to some of the company, but
No, not company. Incubator.
incubator. Yeah, I have reached few incubators, sir. So
No, so you have to now drop every IIT, every IIM, every university, and any well-known research institute or an educational institute is now having an incubator which is
okay, sir.
certified either by the local state government and the central government. And the funds get transferred through these incubators.
What is the process? How can I reach
You
to
have
them?
to see online. You have to search all the incubators that are available. Every incubator works in a special area. So some incubators may work only on artificial intelligence. Some incubators may work only on mobility solutions. Some incubators work on sustainable solutions. That is where you or me come in. You have to apply to them, talk to them, see which kind of grants are coming in, go and meet them. If you get affiliated to an incubator, you start getting grants from the government.
And funds also.
And funds. So, and these grants, the good thing is you don't have to pay back. So, if even you get one grant, no, you get certified as a good business model, after which private equity may start flowing into your system. But get associated with an incubator. That is your road to success. It can be from IIT Bhubaneswar, IIT Kanpur, IIT anywhere. But get associated with an incubator.
Okay, sir.
It will help you.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay, Ms. Medha, please ask your question.
I think I'm the last one.
Yeah.
Namaste, sir. I have a few observations and question come suggestion. And I was listening to all the questions asked and what answer you gave. So you just talked about biomass briquettes and all, because the composting process is not, we are unable to send it to the farm sector and we have to consume it ourselves. So you're talking about the briquettes. So in Hyderabad, we have waste to energy. So isn't it similar to the briquettes, because they are also utilizing the wet waste to create energy? That is one question come observation. The second thing is, I have been having this idea for some time that instead of composting myself, why don't I start procuring a compost from each household by paying some money to them, and that money should be attractive enough to them. And but as you rightly said, we cannot, at our cost, we cannot send it to the farm. So could there be a platform wherein collectively we can reach out to the government, where they can pitch in terms of some subsidy or something like that, like they are giving to the urea subsidy, something like that, so that this collected compost can be transported? Because it has an environmental cost also. If we are consuming ourselves, how much can we consume? I mean, I have an independent house or I have few plants, but most of the city doesn't even have a place for a plant also. So shouldn't we try to create some kind of platform through which we can ask for some subsidy for the transportation of the manure. That is my question. One more thing, sir. And as you rightly said that the municipalities are unable to do things. So whatever we are talking today is to bypass the municipal system and do our own systems. So that I've understood very well. And it is echoing with my thinking. So the previous question of collecting the compost and creating a platform.
Collecting the compost is somebody will have to compose the wet waste. And that is what people are not ready to do. So you
No, what
can
I'm saying, sir.
wet waste and compost.
Sir, one question. This thing. I'm not saying that you compost. I'm just going to purchase at a decent price wherein people will be automatically compelled to compost because it's giving a good rate. But after that, what happens that it's not able to sustain myself. So is there any possibility that we get some kind of subsidy kind of a thing at a municipal level?
The municipal level offers no subsidy for people who are into the business of composting, unfortunately. At least in Pune or Maharashtra, I know that the municipal corporation, because their own hands are tied up and they have such huge budgets of solid waste management that composting ka subsidy and all that, they don't want to do anything like that. It is up to the individual entrepreneur to develop a system, make it financially viable, and make it successful. So you will have to work on this, on how you can maybe get compost, pay money. There will be people happy to give you compost free of cost also, because after they recycle it, they'll give it to you free, no problem. But how are you going to reach it to a farmer, or how are you going to reach it to a retailer by packaging it and selling it? Is you have to work on the model.
No, it is not possible. That I've concluded already. So I am saying that for the central government, I'm saying from the central government, if we put it across, municipalities can't do that, I understand. But from the central governments, if some kind of policy.
Nita, I was thinking, since you're from Hyderabad and I'm from Hyderabad, I've already Firdosji has given us some good ideas about dividing Hyderabad into wards and having independent build and operate processes to follow. I have some ideas. Maybe we can meet up and then present it to the government that this is the changes we want, including that the compost getting out of this should be bought by the government themselves. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Done?
Okay.
Okay, Ankit Das, last question, and with this we're closing. Trishant, please take over the closure.
Hello, sir. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. I might have missed some of the parts, but actually I had a question that suppose if we do not have much space in our houses, like we do not have like balconies, and so in such cases, like how shall we like compost at home, like inside the house? Shall we, can we do the composting inside the houses, like in smaller spaces, like beneath the wash basins, or because there are issues of like smell, other insects coming in. So can we do composting inside our house?
I also don't have a balcony. I stay in a 1 BHK. My composting system is outside my house near the main door. 90% of the people who come to my house don't know that there is wet waste inside. So simple home composting either can be in a earthen pots, mattika pots, what we call, or if you want to invest a little bit further, vegetable crates, in which many of these people sell vegetables. They are good material handling equipments. They are very good for home composting. With 3 vegetable crates per family, they stack up one on top of the other, so will not take too much of space. You can keep it just at the entry side of your house, not necessarily inside your house. Vegetable crates have a very good aeration because they have these lines inside, openings. So you will not get problems of insects and smell from your wet waste. You can try it out. and then maybe you can connect and I can help you further on the stages of composting.
Okay. And suppose if we have a smaller space beneath the wash basins, so
You
would you
can
like
do it there
suggest
also.
like there we can do it? Like it's like a closed sort of. So shall we, I mean, can we like do composting there also?
You can do it there also, but if your people in your house are ready for it, because composting at home is everybody has to be ready for it. It is not you individually who wants to do.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for answering each and every question so nicely. You will see a breakout room link on your screen shortly. Please click the link and join into the link. And for all the past participants who have been with us till now in the webinar, thanks a lot. Please follow us on Instagram. Please also do follow Green Thumb. I'm also sharing the recording of the YouTube recording of the live session right now in the chat box. You can refer to the previous missed part of the session. You can I'm also sharing Green Thumb's website in the chat box, and you can reach out to the speaker through the website, and we will send you the email address for the speaker to get in touch with him. See you in the next session. Thank you so much.